We are joined now by the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Madam Vice President, thank you for joining us this morning. You know, the president said last night that Vladimir Putin had badly miscalculated, but Putin shows no signs of backing down at all. His forces are putting Ukraine in a vice grip this morning. Is there anything more the U.S. can do to prevent Putin from toppling the Ukrainian government, occupying Ukraine?
Well, George, let me start by saying that we have, as the United States of America, shown great leadership, which the President articulated in the State of the Union last night. Most recently, I've been meeting with heads of government and world leaders. Most recently, just yesterday, I spoke with the prime ministers of Poland, of Lithuania, Latvia, talked with Romania about the role that the United States has played in bringing together our NATO alliance, bringing together the EU to stand firm, to stand resolute and unified around what must be serious and severe consequences for Vladimir Putin, for the Russians, in terms of what they have done to invade a sovereign nation. And we are seeing the impact of the work that we have done. We are seeing the ruble in a free fall. We are seeing the stock market in Russia has essentially closed. What we have seen is that the credit rating of Russia is now junk. So what we know is that we're having an impact, and we're taking it quite seriously. I think you know, and many of the pundits, weeks ago wondered whether we would take the kinds of measures that we have taken, and we have, because we're standing together with our allies, and we are seeing an impact because of those measures.
But Putin seems willing to pay that price right now. He's not backing down in any way, shape, or form. The U.S. intelligence about what Putin is going to do has been pretty accurate so far. Does it suggest that Kiev is going to fall?
Well, we're going to do everything we can to support the Ukrainian people, and so we are doing that through our security assistance, through economic assistance, humanitarian assistance. Again, when speaking to the prime ministers that I mentioned just yesterday, we talked in great detail about what we are doing to increase almost on a daily basis our security assistance, what we are doing on almost a daily basis, including to increase our lethal assistance in terms of what they need and what they require to defend themselves in their country. So we're not going to let up. But there's no question. Look, this is Putin's war, and we are very concerned, and we are monitoring it. We are fully aware that if there's any intentional targeting of civilians, that we are looking at the fact that there may be a violation, very well may be a violation of international law. So this is an issue that we should all be paying attention to. It is atrocious. And it is a violation of all of the standards and principles that we, as in particular NATO nations, take seriously in terms of protecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of any nation.
What is the best possible outcome here? Does the United States want the Russian people and Putin's fellow oligarchs to rise up and depose him?
Well, what we want is that he will leave Ukraine. What we want is that the Ukrainian people will be free and that they will be safe. But we are now at a place where obviously Russia has yet again invaded Ukraine, and we must stand in solidarity with our allies and make sure there are severe and swift consequences, which is what we have been doing.
Let me turn to the domestic front. The president laid out his agenda last night on inflation, on COVID, on crime. The Republican response was given by the governor of Iowa, Kim Reynolds. Here's what she had to say.
We're now 1 year into his presidency, and instead of moving America forward, it feels like President Biden and his party have sent us back in time to the late 70s and early 80s, when runaway inflation was hammering families, a violent crime wave was crashing our cities, and the Soviet Army was trying to redraw the world map.
Your response?
Well, the facts are that in 1 year, we have created over 6 million jobs. The fact is that we have grown the economy at a faster rate than has been grown in 40 years, I think, since the Reagan era. Those are the facts. The facts are that unemployment has reached a very significant low, and people are going back to work. Children are back in school. 99% of our schools are reopened, and that is the state of America today. There's certainly work to be done. We need to address the issue of inflation, and we are doing that in terms of addressing the supply chain issue, and also what we need to do to make living more affordable for folks, the cost of living, and that means bringing down the cost of child care, bringing down the cost of elder care, bringing down the cost of prescription drugs. But, I think that we have seen progress, but there's certainly more work to do.
And the American people certainly are not feeling it right now. At least that's what's showing up in the polls. Can the president provide the kind of relief that is necessary to prevent a Democratic rout in November?
Well, listen, the president made clear last night, part of what we as leaders in the United States, both in the Congress and in the executive branch, need to do is we need to pay attention to the needs of American families. And that is why we are saying, for example, on the issue of child care, working families shouldn't pay more than 7% of their income in child care. Families shouldn't have to go broke taking care of their children. Let's bring down the cost of prescription drugs. So many folks in our country, or when we have relatives who have diabetes, insulin can cause people to literally make decisions about whether they buy food or have life-saving drugs. And so let's bring down the costs so working families and individuals don't pay more than $35 a month for insulin. These are the things that we are attempting to do. The president also, I thought, did a spectacular job of trying to appeal to American leaders, regardless of party affiliation, to come together in a unified way around these issues that impact people regardless of who they voted for in the last election. That's how we continue to make our country strong, and that's our intention.
Madam Vice President, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
And the president will be continuing that today by going to Wisconsin.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.